Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thank you very much for coming on to another episode of Startup Talks. We've got an unusual startup here today. Calling it unusual because you don't get to see such a thing often anywhere, actually. It's very common in the Western world where wedding planning is a formal industry, but not here in Pakistan. So today we are joined by co-founders Neelam Shoaib and Izzah Zaman. Neelam is the COO and Izzah Zaman is the CEO. And they have got a startup called Shadiyana.com. All right. Hi, how are you guys? Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum Salam. Thank you so much for your kind introduction. Just a little bit correction. It's Shadyana.pk.
Oh, okay. Sorry, my bad. Shadiyana.pk then. So guys, कितनी शादियां करा चुके हैं आप लोग? And anyone can choose to answer that.
Sure. Basically, we launched last week. It's been exactly 7 days since we launched,
Mm-hmm.
and some people have already informally booked through us,
Mm-hmm.
and for their weddings in November and February.
Okay.
So I think the number is close to 5.
Uh-huh. All right.
Mm.
अच्छा तो uh, we'll come on to Shadyana a bit later. A bit about yourselves. I believe Isa, I saw on your profile you're based in Pittsburgh somewhere, and Neelam, you are in Islamabad. So, what got you into this? I mean, you guys are poles apart. How are you managing it?
Okay. So I saw that you've gone through the profile. I think profile थोड़ी सी updated नहीं है because I was in Pittsburgh until 3 months ago,
Okay.
and I just got back to Pakistan. I was there for my master's.
Mm-hmm.
And how did we get together? We've been best friends for more than 8 years now.
Mm-hmm.
हमने undergrad start किया था. We were both we have graduated from NUST. हम software engineers हैं. So
Mm-hmm.
that's where we first, met, and we've been working together ever since.
Mm-hmm.
And how did we come to Shadyana? Basically, the two of us, we don't think we are built for corporate or to work. We've done corporate jobs and we did not like it. So
Mm-hmm.
we knew we wanted to do something else, something of our own. क्योंकि हम हर वक्त हर चीज को देख के कह रहे होते थे. मार्केटिंग में हमारा बहुत इंटरेस्ट होता था कि नहीं, ये तो बड़ी जबरदस्त चीज है, ये करना चाहिए, या आइडियाज के बारे में और इस तरह. एंड जब आप किसी कंपनी के लिए काम कर रहे होते हैं तो देयर सो मच देयर इज नॉट मच यू कैन डू बिकॉज ऑब्वियसली देयर इज अ हायरार्की and you have to follow that and you have to follow their rules. So I think that's why we wanted to start our own company. And we used to brainstorm every week. We would list down hundreds and hundreds of ideas, and then one day we came up with Shadyana. We thought that this was a big enough industry, it had room for creativity, and it also aligned with what we do. Like, we're software engineers, so hum website or apps, so it was something we could develop ourselves. So I think that's how we got together to working on Shadyana.
Okay, so both of you are in Islamabad now then.
Yes.
Okay, that's great. So, what is Shadyana all about? Is it kind of like a marketplace or an aggregator? Because there's a fine line between the two, right? So, what would you call it? A marketplace or an aggregator?
First of all, let me explain the product a little bit.
Yeah.
Brief note, it's the food partner of the wedding ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
So, like how Food Partner works, you go on the app and have a variety of restaurants and home-based restaurants as well,
Mm-hmm.
and you can basically avail their services. So we are basically targeting the wedding ecosystem. So we have a list of photographers, makeup artists, venues, and many more other vendors yet to come. And people basically come to our platform, which is a website, and they scroll through it, filter it according to their budget,
Mm-hmm.
and basically they can choose for something for their wedding.
All right. So, uh, coming back to my question, uh, who does the implementation, right? Is it you guys who do the implementation or the people who are there on your platform? Like, say, if I have a shadi hall, or I'm a caterer, am I supposed to be going and doing it for customers that come through your platform to me, or are you guys going to go and do the implementation?
Okay. So for this case, right now, what Shadyana is in this first phase,
Mm-hmm.
the shadi halls themselves, they'd be the one conducting the weddings and the events, the photographers, the makeup artists. So the customer would directly contact them, but they'll get the contact information from us. So
Mm-hmm.
in that sense, we are an aggregator at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But what we plan to do, what our aim is, to become a marketplace as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that people can directly book them through us. But we're not there yet. We're still working on that.
All right. And is it just the two of you right now in the team, or you've got more people or more staff as well?
Essentially, it's us two, but we do have some interns working with us and two developers as well, working with us full time on this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, but basically it's Izzah.
All right. And you are based out of Islamabad just now, or you plan, obviously you must have plans to expand into other cities, or you're already into it.
So right now we have data for 3 cities: Islamabad, Lahore, and Karachi.
Mm-hmm.
But mainly we are, at this point, our marketing efforts, they're targeting on Islamabad. So we're starting from Islamabad, and then we hopefully move to the other 2 main cities.
All right. Now, uh, from my own understanding, right, everybody's been through the headache of arranging wedding functions, and there is a hell of a lot of issues. There are issues from men's thought process and issues from women's thought process, and then there are issues with dresses and food and the quality and the variety and all those sorts of things. Now, the wedding industry in Pakistan, uh, say for example, we take one aspect, the marriage halls. They have their own system of operating. They sort of, everybody thinks of themselves as being a monopoly in its own design and its own respect. I don't know if you've traveled to Karachi. I'm sure it's there in any city of Pakistan. There are some big halls and with fancy appearance and lighting and arrangements and everything, and they dictate their own prices, right? Then there's another category, a mid-range category, and then there is a lower category. So uh, how do you plan on maneuvering around such a monopolistic behavior, especially from marriage halls? Then that applies to caterers as well, and then to the other aspects like wedding dresses and all that.
That's a good question. So just to add something that though we launched a week ago, but we started working on this product a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
And from day we have been doing extensive customer discovery with our vendors basically.
Mm-hmm.
And with their responses, we are incorporating that onto our website because the product is basically for them as well, for them to use.
Mm-hmm.
And they showed, they addressed a very good question on how they want to be on our platform.
Mm-hmm.
And they wanted to, they were basically very interested in coming onto our platform. They just didn't have this opportunity before. And those rare times that they had, it didn't prove.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, we are taking the vendors from day one. We have taken them from day one and building the product and updating it every day according to what the vendor wants, since the vendor is going to be our paying customer.
Right. Okay. And on your website, I see you've got a pricing mechanism sort of thing, different price plans. I was actually intrigued to see the last one. I think it's called the premium plan, right? And now there's an interesting aspect to it with regards to marketing. Uh, so you're going to provide marketing services as well for them?
Yes.
Okay.
So what they can do is essentially they can market their deals with us. For example, right now, um, Aura Grande, one of the renowned marquees in Islamabad, they are offering 10% off if someone comes through us.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the kind of deals we would provide to our premium customers.
Okay. So, since it's only been a week, I always ask everybody who comes on to Startup Talks, what kind of hurdles are you facing? Are you looking for some help, for some funding maybe, or some mentors to come on board and help you out? What sort of hurdles do you
Hmm, that's interesting.
have? Mm-hmm.
So currently we are just thinking about how to manage everything. We just want to do everything ourselves, but
Mm-hmm.
that's not very time efficient. So we plan on streamlining these things a bit more in a more efficient way, so everyone's time is better utilized. And
Mm-hmm.
we also plan on expanding our team as well
Mm-hmm.
in different cities. So since suppose it's difficult for us to leave every client in Islamabad and go for a few days visit in Lahore or Karachi and other cities. So we're also looking into expanding our business in other cities as well. Someone who's based there, so then conduct sales at spot
Mm-hmm.
by meeting the vendors.
Okay. So, and you are obviously bootstrapping by the sounds of it, what you're saying, right? अब आपका आगे का प्लान क्या है, रोड मैप क्या है आप लोगों का?
Perfect. So I think one of the top things that we have in mind is to start generating revenue,
Mm-hmm.
because we are offering a 1 month free trial, and we'd like, because it's been 1 week, but we have had around 2,000 active users within that 1 week who spent 3 minutes on our website on average. So
Mm-hmm.
that's huge for us because it was such a big gap there. We are seeing results immediately and we want to monetize them. So that's one thing that we would want to start doing immediately. And down the lane, we want to add more segments.
Mm-hmm.
So there's, for example, right now when we talk to people, everyone's like decor is big these days in Islamabad. So we do want to expand into that immediately. And the segments that people want that has high demand, we would want to address that, incorporate that within our website as soon as we can.
Okay. Now,
Adding that,
yeah, please go ahead. I'm sorry.
okay, probably some internet issue, overlapping voices. Adding to that, we also plan on implementing a proper end-to-end booking functionality as well.
Mm-hmm.
So when users, especially users from abroad, we have noticed from analytics that a lot of traffic from the US is coming,
Mm-hmm.
especially from yeah, Pakistani societies more. When they want to plan a wedding in Pakistan, you want to basically have a booking mechanism in place
Mm-hmm.
with a full payment gateway so that when they complete a transaction, it's completely end to end and seamless.
Okay, that's great. That is actually one segment because wedding season in Pakistan usually is just around the corner actually, and everybody who's in my age group, Decembers and Januaries are we are attending weddings for some reason on almost a daily basis. So coming to another aspect like boutiques, right? Uh, Wedding dresses, bridal dresses, and dresses for the immediate family and the attendees, right? There is that is also a totally different ball game altogether, and the price range. You know what I'm talking about. The price ranges are in some cases exponential. So
Yeah.
uh, if because for me, from my understanding, as far as boutiques and wedding dresses are concerned, you need a separate platform for something like that to advertise, to put on each and every dress, the design, what kind of वो जो कहते हैं ना काम कौन सा हुआ है, वो पता नहीं क्या दबका होता है और गोटा होता है और क्या
Yeah.
क्या क्या होता है, तो वो तो एक बड़ी, that is a very very technical field. I mean, it's a field of its own. So how are you going to manage, incorporate that into Shadyana?
Right now, we have the traditional and the most sought out wedding vendors, photographers, makeup artists, and venues.
Mm-hmm.
And side by side, we are also implementing the working for other vendors, like as I mentioned before, for decors.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll basically do a more extensive research on what is in demand more.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the basis of that, we'll conduct further research on that specific vendor and conduct more studies on the user as well. Since clothing is something, wedding clothes especially, is something that people are still not very keen on buying online.
Mm-hmm.
The perception is slightly skewed towards not favorable.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that is definitely going to be in the works, but not immediately.
Yeah. I'll tell you why, the reason behind asking that question. You guys are programmers, right? You have been programming, computer programming has been built into you, right? I'm not a programmer. I don't know jack about coding, right? But uh, for a you may take this as an advice or a suggestion or however, but I do feel, because you guys are very young and you've entered uh, into the startup space, and it's a really amazing thing that you're trying to build here, but there are a lot of technical things around it, right? This platform right now, it seems very small, because you've got venues, you've got photographers, you've got a decor as well, but there are lots of different aspects to the to wedding planning. It may sound like a small word, but there are lots of different aspects to it. So uh, that this platform of Shadyana.pk, right? May sound, it may seem a small box right now, but if you guys really put yourself into it, and it expands, right? Incorporates all different features as well. This is gonna, the platform itself is gonna grow exponentially. uh, considering all the aspects, dresses, food. I don't think you've got food in there just yet. Am I right?
It depends actually, because in Islamabad, what happens is the marquees have their own food.
Yeah.
So there are no separate food vendors. So
Mm-hmm.
we have their prices, their menus listed. But in Karachi, for example, the food people are separate from the event halls.
Mm-hmm.
So we do have food for Islamabad and Lahore, but not yet in that sense for Karachi.
Right. So, like I said, this is managing the platform itself is itself going to be a Herculean task. It's going to grow quite a bit. And the timing as well is pretty good as well, because due to the pandemic, the wedding industry suffered quite a lot. So, best of luck with this thing that you're doing. So, do you need help with anything through the platform? Do you want to reach out to people, any kind of support?
Um, I would I would say we are looking for vendors, whoever wants to get listed, any connections, any photographers, makeup artists, or venues who would want to get listed. We'd be happy to have them on board. So if anyone's watching, please do reach out to us, and we'd be happy to have you all on board with us.
Okay, that's great. So, I think we'll call it a day here, right? Thank you very much for coming on to Startup Talks. Best of luck with your venture. and hopefully not now, but maybe in a couple of years' time, I might be booking a wedding for my children through you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Have a nice day. Have a
Thank
great
you
Thank
so
you.
weekend.
much.
Thank you. Bye
Thank you
bye.
for having us.
Thank you.